Wendy, we're here at Ostermere Anglican. Tell us where Ostermere is.
Ostermere is a little village in a string of little villages on the south coast just below Sydney and just before Wollongong.
And what's this church like?
We have I guess it's a medium-sized church. We have about 200, 250 in our congregation. It's very family, vibrant, a range of ages, and we love being together.
We've got a kids' day, that's why all the activities are around us.
Exactly, yes. We've got 130 kids coming from the community to look at a create theme.
So, Wendy, you decided to use Towards Belief as a series. Why did you choose Towards Belief?
What I loved about Towards Belief was that it was based on current research of Australian society and what the blockages are for Australians today towards considering faith in Jesus. Each of those topics, suffering and exclusive faith and science and God, each of those topics that are covered are really key things that Australians in my context grapple with. And so what I love about it is that it's about removing those and addressing those blockages so that it provides a conversation that leads people towards Jesus.
Give us a picture about how you used the series, because you used it out of another event, didn't you?
Yes, so we did. We had an event run in the local surf club. We had Lee Hatcher, who's a journalist and a personality who we interviewed about his life, his work, his faith. We had about 130 people come to that event, easily 50% non-church people. And out of that event, we then advertised, if you want to know more about what you've heard tonight, about Jesus, if you've never really had a good hard look, then come along to this series that we'll be running. So it was run off the back of that, which I think was really key. And then out of that event, the following 4 Thursday nights in somebody's home, we had a gathering of people, whoever took up the interest. And the take-up was great. We had probably 30 plus people the first night. At least a third of them were totally non-church people. Some of them were fringe church people, perhaps not Christians yet. And it was really relaxed. We had drinks and nibbles. We projected the DVD, and then we had good discussion afterwards.
On the night, what was it like for people? There's a lot of always people want to ask the question, is it good for Christians? Is it good for those who don't come to church? How was the response from both those groups to watching the series?
I think it worked well in different ways for both groups. For the Christians, they were really positive, and they had, I think it works to build a sense of confidence in your own faith and equipping you in your conversations with unbelievers about these very topics. And in fact, for the Christians, we went on to run it in home groups for our Christians to help do that. For our non-Christian friends, I think they were really positive. They had, I guess they were surprised at how the high level of intelligent engagement there was with each of these topics, and beyond perhaps what they had even thought themselves. And so it really started the ball rolling and the conversations happening.
Just talking about the promotional side, you used the template that's available on our website, and did you also use the trailer? Is that how you promoted it?
Yes, the trailer was really key. I think that's done so well that it just impacts both Christians and non-Christians to think, wow, this is really worth listening to. And yes, the template for the flyer, we just picked that up and dropped in our own details. Okay. And that gave it a consistency in its look.
As someone working in a local church whose specific focus is in evangelism, your view on Towards Belief as a tool for the church?
I think it hits a spot that we haven't really had a good tool for before, and that spot is, as it claims to try to do, removing the hindrances and the blockages for people. So it's apologetics. And then it paves the way for us to then share the gospel in a more in-depth way for those who've had the blockages removed. And we found that happened. We've gone on to run another gospel course afterwards, after Towards Belief, where those who kind of tasted and saw that this was worth listening to were then ready to listen to the gospel, and we were able to flesh that out.
And you're able to do gospel ministries more broadly through gospel communications as well. How does gospel communications work for you?
Yeah, so Gospel Communications is a little platform that allows me to do evangelistic ministry across denominations and be a support person, a resource perhaps for smaller churches or larger churches to look at creating events and to look at creating a flow of different ways of connecting with the community to share the gospel. I am available to speak evangelistically as well as to work with teams, training and planning together.
We're at Ostermere Anglican and we're talking to Wendy Potts, who works for Ostermere Anglican but also with Gospel Communications, about how she used the series towards belief. If you want more information about how Wendy used the series, or if you want to chat to Wendy about getting involved with Gospel Communications or using her as a speaker, why don't you contact her in the details provided.